welcome to another RSR. Tonight I'm reviewing Mexico 4, Honduras 0 in CONCACAF Gold Cup 2023 Group B. Mexico 4, Honduras 0. En la Copa Oro, Grupo B, Jornada 1. Mexico wins. Big win for Mexico. Jimmy Lozano has Mexico humming like it was 2021 all over again, because a lot of these players were U23s on that squad. They ran through a wall for him. Yes, the 4 goals were very good when it comes to the self-play of these players. Luis Romo gets a brace. Orbelin Pineda does get played on by Henry Martin, but good finish by Pineda. Luis Chavez gets on a defensive mistake and pops one in. Goals were scored as follows. Luis Romo off a rebound. Ball rolls to him at the top of the box. He just lasers it into the far post. Makes it 1-0. 1-0. Early start in Mexico. Goal-wise, looks like they dominate Honduras from the very beginning. Stats-wise and play-wise, not so much, but I'll get there. 22nd minute, Luis Romo all alone off a rebounded header. He pops it in past Luis Lopez to make it 2-0, 2-0. That's the way we go into half. 2-0, 2-0 for Mexico. 52nd minute, Orbelin Pineda. Henry Martin plays in Pineda. As this match goes, Orbelin Pineda gets played in, takes the shot, puts it past Lopez to make it 3-0, 3-0. Then Luis Chavez runs onto a bad given away ball at the top of the box, puts it to the opposite side of where Lopez was starting to go, but Lopez does sort of correct, but he doesn't get a touch to it in the 64th minute. Chavez puts it into the near post. 4-0, 4-0. That's the way it would end. 4-0. Mexico wins. Stats are as follows. 17 shots to 6. 6 shots on goal to 1. 54% possession to 46% possession. 500 passes to 419. 87% pass accuracy to 82. 13 fouls to 13. 1 offside to 1. 2 yellow cards to 2. 0 red cards to 0. 4 corners to 5. This game, by the scoreline, it looks like Mexico went and dominated Honduras, which I think the 4-0 is a little bit harsh. Mexico had 4 good goals scored by solo efforts, pretty much, besides the Henry Martin assist. Mexico, Luis Romo's the man of the match here. I'll get to that. But Mexico found ways to score goals in very impressive ways. Mexico has not scored like this since Denver. Jimmy Lozano, you could say the U23 team did, but Jimmy Lozano had this team running through walls for him. I will give Jimmy Lozano his props. Lozano, this was like Tokyo, more like Tokyo than Necaxa for him. He got those players running through walls for him. He put in blood, sweat, and tears to coach this game and get this team running well, and he did. I got to give Jimmy Lozano's props, but he is not him. Jimmy Lozano is not the reason why Mexico will go back to where they should have been under Juan Carlos Osorio, or where they were at Tata before they fell down, or where they thought Coco was going to take them. That's not the case. The FMF hopes Lozano could paper over the cracks, put Band-Aids on the wounds. He may, which that's what this not looked like, per se. But here's the problem. A Band-Aid don't cover a wound 24/7, 365 forever. Same as a paper over a crack. It doesn't. You need spackle. You need drywall. If you're going for the crack, if you're going for a cut, you need stitches. You need Neosporin, something like that. Point is, Jimmy Lozano is not the end-all, be-all. It's not about coaching. Yes, these players played for him. This was the best Mexico performance in a long time, I have to say. But I do not think they're back. They are not back. Honduras was horrible. Defensively, they were horrible. They gave away basically 4 goals. They pretty much gave those away. Every single one you could say, defensive mistake. Oh, defensive mistake. You could say that. Offensively, they tried to get a consolation, close to get one back, then turn into consolation later. But Honduras played forward semi-okay. They held possession semi-okay, especially late in that first half after they went down 2-0. Honduras had some answers, not completely, and they made some defensive mistakes that put them behind the 8 ball. I think 4-0 is harsh. I think Mexico, expected goals-wise, this was them getting their expected goals, I think. And it looks more like a return to form. But let's be honest, I would not be too coalesced by this. You got to look at it like this. Jimmy Lozano is getting these players to respond. That is for certain. This team needed to have a response after what happened at the Nations League. They did. Jimmy Lozano is getting these players to play like he did back in Tokyo. Yes. This does remind me of that sub-23 team. Yes. Here's the thing, though. Mexico still have the same systemic problems that they've had for years. Jimmy Lozano is only a Band-Aid. Who's to say that this was just a one-off answer? Haiti's a good team. They could draw Mexico. I don't think Haiti's going to give Mexico what Honduras gave Mexico. I don't think Haiti is as bad as Honduras, because let's remember, Honduras is a crap team right now. They didn't even learn against Canada in the Nations League. When they were actually playing on a real pitch, they lost 4-1. So again, Canada's A team beat Honduras' A team 4-1 back in March. This was Honduras' B team versus Mexico's A- team 4-0. So again, is it a really good result? Yes. Am I giving Mexico their props? Yes, they played well tonight. Is this going to last? I have no idea. I'm not going to scream Mexico is back. Don't act like Texas fans. They are not back just yet. I don't care if you win the Gold Cup dominantly, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 every game, or 5 of the 6, I'll listen to you. Then I'll be like, you know what? They may be back. Jimmy Lozano should be the main manager. If that happens, I'll give you that. If they beat the USA and Canada sometime this decade away, I'll give you it if they're back. At home, it would have to be a dominant win, like 4 or 5-0, but I'll give you that. Or 3 or 4 at home. On the road, any win would suffice. I'll say Mexico's back if they could beat USA or Canada this decade. Right now, I'm going to lean towards great game. Mexico played well. Luis Romo started off this game hot, and Mexico just never flinched from there. They felt comfortable, and they could play their game, and I think that's really what mattered. Luis Romo, with that early start, made this game a whole lot different than what this game could have been had he not scored that first-minute goal. That made Mexico feel like they could be more comfortable. Then he scores the 22nd minute goal, and they're like, you know what, we could play our game. And Lozano's like, do what you got to do. Make a statement. And I think that's what happened. Luis Romo scoring that early goal, then the header, he was one of Jimmy Lozano's biggest guys at that Tokyo Olympics, the sub-23 team. He comes in clutch again. He comes in clutch again with 2 goals, man of the match, steps up for Mexico, and puts Jimmy on his back and says, I got you. I got you. And he did. 2 big goals from Luis Romo to put this game to a very more comfortable state for Mexico. And even then, I don't know if they should have been comfortable, but Honduras didn't score, even though they had a good couple of chances throughout that first half and early second half. But after those 2, it just wasn't easy for Honduras to get back into it and also try to make a better performance out of it and get a goal and get back into it. It was hard to do, and Honduras just probably fell under the pressure. Yeah, they're not great, but when you have 2 put against you in the first 22 minutes and Mexico's playing arguably well and the best they have in 2 years, you're like, okay, this might not go our way, and it didn't. I don't think this is a overarching theme. I'm not sure if it will be. I'll give Mexico their props. I have. But we'll see what happens against Haiti. I think that'll be a little bit harder, a lot tougher than this game. And Qatar, depending on if their heads are down already and they're already eliminated, we'll see. We'll see. If they beat Honduras, they're still in with a chance on the final match day. So that could be tied as well. Win or go home, that could be tied as well. So with that being said, yeah, Mexico, they had a great game tonight. No question. Jimmy Lozano had an amazing managing performance tonight. He put the Band-Aids on, and they were rocking. He put the paper over the cracks. They were rocking. Luis Romo had a good game. Henry Martin could have been better. Basically, Mexico looked the best they have in years. That is for certain. But is this a one-time thing, or is this just the, hopefully, resurgence of a dormant volcano? I don't know. I think it's a one-time thing. I think it's closer to one time. They made their statement. Haiti's going to be hard to play. Qatar might be hard to play depending on how that Honduras-Qatar game goes. Just because you won the first one doesn't mean you're going to win the group. Resoundingly doesn't mean you're going to win the group. So with that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send super chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put us in playlist. Share it with friends and family. All that great stuff. I shall see you tomorrow for a live watch-alongs of El Salvador versus Martinique and Costa Rica versus Panama in Group C of the Gold Cup. I will review Panama versus Costa Rica. I will see you then. Group C, then one thing for Group D on Tuesday. But I'll see you for Group C action tomorrow. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See you later.